Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Tiriyet Nashtaprahishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, devotional service, text 6, 7 onwards. So previous verse, Krishna mentioned, for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So always difficult, not just because it's Kali Yuga, that's difficult. It's always difficult. Further, Krishna says, Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyena yogena mamadhyayantu pasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu sansara sagara bhavami na chirat partha maya veshit chetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So this is the huge difference between Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga or Hatha Yoga. He says, I am the swift deliverer. All we have to do is, Krishna says, those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me. And meditation on Krishna, like we discussed last time, I mean, even if we are buying something, we are thinking of Krishna. We are buying, like Mataji went to buy jewelry, or even if you daily buy sabji or fruits, we are buying it for Krishna. Oh, he will like this, he will not like this. Now let me pick up the best item. So this is meditation, and this is devotional service at the same time. And for them, Krishna says, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Means I take them away from the ocean of birth and death. It is explicitly stated here that devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he doesn't, then he will render service to Maya. So either God or Maya, we have to serve. We cannot run away from that. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve him. One should work only for Krishna. It doesn't matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. See, the devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of God. For his own, he doesn't need any achievement. Like Krishna, he told Arjuna, after the whole Bhagavad Gita is over, he's going to tell Arjuna, you fight, but fight for me. So Arjuna wasn't ready to fight for himself. But when Krishna asked him, he did fight. And he fight very, very strongly. And he fought very strongly. But this is the crux. Devotee doesn't desire any achievement except I want to please Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. That's all. And Krishna in return can give whatever he wants to. But devotee is not asking for anything. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay, he will deliver a pure devotee, thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. So he says, swift deliverer. I'm the swift deliverer, without delay. And for Gyanis, what did he say? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate. Many, many lifetimes. After many, many lifetimes, a Jnani, one who is seeking knowledge, he surrenders unto me. And for devotee, I'm the swift deliverer. So why go through this hard process, tough process? Why? Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process. And others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord himself takes him. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. He doesn't need to be very experienced or very, very pure. And here the Lord is saying, I'm the swift deliverer. If you follow all these conditions, worship me and think of me exclusively and this and that. But if his devotee promises something, then that Krishna becomes he is so indebted to his devotees, even takes care of their promise. Whether it supersedes his own instructions. Just like Prabhupada, once he was giving a lecture, and in the lecture he said, until you are 100% pure, you cannot go back. Then he looked at this audience. All the devotees were like 100% pure. It's not even practical. When looking at them, he said, okay, 90% pure, you can still go back. And the devotees are thinking, even 90%, it's just not possible, not going to happen. 80, 70%. He said, even 70% pure, you can go back. And devotees are feeling little better. Yeah, 70% is something hopefully we can achieve. And when Prabhupada got up from Vyasasana, he put his chadar on his shoulder. He says, even 60% pure, I will take you back. No, that is a promise. If Prabhupada has made that promise, then Krishna will fulfill it. That is the beauty of bhakti. Bhakti yoga, devotional service. So the point is, at least we should strive for 100%. Like students, when we try to get 100% marks, we study hard, we get 60, 70%. So similarly here, we strive for 100%, trying our best. And even if we are 60% pure only, Prabhupada's guarantee is that he'll take us back to spiritual world. Because Prabhupada, his Guru Maharaj said, until you chant 64 rounds every day, you're fallen. And Prabhupada made a change. He said, okay, 64 rounds not possible, 16 rounds minimum every day. I'll take you back. 16 rounds is not very difficult, not at all difficult. Actually. In the beginning, yes, we all had arguments. Oh, 16 rounds, I don't have time, and this and that. We all had the same argument. But slowly, 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 we came to 16 rounds. And it doesn't seem like a very big achievement. It's easy. But even with this much effort, Prabhupada is pleased. And if Prabhupada is pleased, Krishna will fulfill his promise. We got to have faith. So, and Krishna here is saying he is the swift deliverer. Without delay, he will deliver. And other processes, there is no guarantee by Krishna. He never says for yogis or karmis or jnanis. No, only for devotees. And further also, other chapters also, he says similar things. In the Varaha Puran, this verse appears, Nayami Paramam Sthanam Archir Adi Gatim Vina Garuda Skandham Aropya Yathecham Anivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord himself. He clearly states here that he himself becomes the deliverer. So Ashtanga Yoga don't need to practice to go back to spiritual world. But out of this, if somebody wants to practice yogasanas just to stay healthy, that is okay to perform any exercise, and especially yogasana, which are much better than any aerobic or other exercises. That is okay to keep the body healthy so we can serve Krishna better and we can do our chanting better. But those are just the processes to help us do our devotional service better. Then it is okay. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by his great mercy, comes at once, riding on his bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself, not in the ocean. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. That's all. That's all is required. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampatti purushartha chatushtaya taya vina tad apanoti naro narayana ashraya. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is a specific benediction of devotional service. So, bhakti, if somebody is doing, he doesn't need to do anything. Although he does everything on the side, but for bhakti, like charity. We give charity. We give charity to the temple, to the devotees. But this charity is devotional service. It pleases Krishna. Bhakti means to please Krishna. We do sacrifices. Our sacrifices is chanting of Hare Krishna. It's a sacrifice of time, sacrifice of energy. But this chanting pleases Krishna. Similarly, other processes. So for us, bhakti is the only process. We do everything just to please Krishna, to please Prabhupada, and this purifies us, purifies our consciousness. With the other processes, jnana yoga or other, not necessarily that it will purify the consciousness. We might still be under thinking that I'm better than this or I'm better than that, and or Brahm Jyoti is the supreme, Nirakar is supreme, or other things. No, that doesn't purify us. That actually entangles us more. The bhakti process, it is beautiful, and it gives the best results. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. A devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily, but this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. Cannot be approached. This is the beauty of bhakti. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma shucha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead Krishna. That's the highest perfection of life. So highest perfection, and Prabhupada is saying. And still, if somebody wants to waste his time in meditation on Nirakar and this and that, what can be done? So we just have to practice it ourselves and preach, so others can also practice. Text 8. Mayev man adhastva mai buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayev at urdhvam na sanshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. Don't have any doubts. And Krishna is giving these instructions to Arjuna in the battlefield. And the biggest battle of his life was going to start after these instructions. And in the war, this is what Arjuna did. He fixed his mind on Krishna and engaged all his intelligence in Krishna. And he fought the war. We don't have that kind of situation in our life. All we have to do, okay, take care of our job or business and family relationships. But while doing that, we can fix our mind on Krishna. It's not like we have to kill our grandfather or teacher or cousins or nephews. Nothing of that thing is going on. We don't have to do any of this. All we have to do, while we are engaged in whatever responsibilities we have, but think of Krishna. And it is possible by constant practice of chanting Hare Krishna. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. lives in Krishna. He lives in the spiritual realm with Krishna, always. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. Internal potency is who? Srimati Radharani. So Radha and Krishna are dancing on our tongues when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because with Hare we are addressing Radharani. And Krishna is non-different. Radharani is non-different from her name, their names. We cannot see it. We don't see it because our senses are imperfect. But we keep on practicing. That's all. And then Krishna will reveal himself. Of course, not by practicing we will be able to see him, but when he reveals himself, we can. And he previously said he's a swift deliverer, so he can reveal himself also whenever he wants to. We just carry on with our devotional service with sincerity and more love and blissfulness. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. That is prasadam. Prasadam means mercy. Literally, it means mercy of the Lord. So when we are accepting that, first we are offering him bhoga, he accepts. We, those who don't have faith, they will say, "Oh, the everything is there on the plate as it is. How did he offer? What did he accept?" Well, devotee who has faith, he knows Krishna accepts. Krishna accepts our love, our hard work in preparing that bhoga and offering it to him. And when Krishna wants, and when obviously we are at that level, he can physically eat it also. And Govardhan Leela, Girraji ate everything. And then he produced everything back. And there are so many other incidents with devotees where Krishna personally ate. Here also, whenever we offer, Krishna accepts. But he accepts our love, our service, our mood of surrender. That faith has to be there. And then, if Krishna has accepted that bhoga and it becomes prasadam, when we eat or honor, that's why the word is honor the prasadam. It's non-different from Krishna, and it has Krishna's mercy mixed in it. So by eating every morsel of that prasadam, we are getting purified. There's nothing wrong with prasadam, nothing lacking in prasadam. But it's how we accept it. Do we accept it with the realization or understanding it's Krishna's mercy, non-different from Krishna? Do we honor it in this way? If we just calculate, suppose somebody has been practicing devotion service for the last 10 years. 10 years means 3 meals a day and total, just to for an estimate, maybe what? Total 1 kilogram of prasadam every day. I know it's going to be more, but just for calculations. So 1 kilogram, 1 year, 360 kilograms, 10 years, 3,600 kilograms of prasadam we have processed through our body. And it is said if somebody even gets just just very little, that much, it doesn't even fit in his arm, in his palm. If he eats that much prasadam, but with full realization, he can go back. This is how powerful Vishnu Prasadam is. And there's a story of how Lord Shiva got Prasadam, and then first Narad Muni got, and the Shivji got, then Durga ji didn't get anything, Parvati ji didn't get anything, so she performed tapasya, and then Jagannath ji appeared. She said, "Okay, you will remain as Bimla in my temple in Jagannath Puri, and everything that first I eat, it will first go to you, and then it will go to other devotees, rest of the devotees." So that's why it's called Bimla Prasad. Jagannath Prasad becomes Bimla Prasad, then it comes for everybody. This is how powerful Prasadam is. And so much Prasadam, 10 years, 3,600 kilos we have processed. It's just we don't have that faith. Charnamrit, only 3 drops of Charnamrit is sufficient to make one purified. And how much Charnamrit in 10 years we must have drunk, especially during festival time. We really drink cups full of Charnamrit. It's just, we are not there, that's all. But if we do it properly, then there's no way that he will not get purified. And Krishna will not help him. There's no way. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain. Now, fixing our mind on Krishna, it's very difficult. Even Arjuna says it's very difficult to control the mind. So now Krishna, he knows everybody is not at the same level. He said, okay, cannot fix a mind. Follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain. So the process is given by Prabhupada. Do this, don't do these, and then we'll get purified enough that we can think of Krishna always. In this verse, 2 different processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. Actually, these 4 verses, there are 4 verses, 12 chapter, 8, 9, 10, 11. It gives different stages. So you cannot think of Krishna, then Krishna says, just follow the regulative principles of devotional service. Bhakti Yoga is the purification of the senses. At the present moment in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. Senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. We are always thinking of enjoying my senses, pleasing my senses. This food looks good, no matter who cooked it, where it is cooked, I just want to eat. And there are so many food vloggers on the net. They have nothing to do but just to go here and there, eat different kinds of food, and recommend it to their viewers. But that's not what bhakti is. Bhakti is to prepare the food for bhoga, for the pleasure of Krishna. And even if it is not the best tasting materially, if Krishna has accepted it, it becomes the best. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was so renounced, but at the same time so devoted. He would just chant whole day. And sometimes, if even he gets hungry, he would go to the bank of Ganga in Navadvip and pick up some dirt from the bank and just put it on his hand up. In a way, he's offering it to Krishna. And then he would just eat that dirt, wet dirt. And sometimes he would just cut up an eggplant, just cut up an eggplant and offer, just raise his hand and offer it to Krishna, like he's offering to Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then eat it. And it is mentioned that when he would eat it, it would be, his face would look like he has accepted Chapan Bhog. He's relishing Chapan Bhog. Krishna can do anything. What's impossible for him? He can convert that dirt of Ganga or eggplant. He can convert it into Chapan. And for those who are not devotees, even if they have the best of the dishes in front, they might not feel like eating, or they might have some health issues that they cannot eat it. So bhakti means the senses can become purified, so purified that the person would enjoy, even if given the simplest of meals. So, but by the practice of bhakti yoga, these senses can become purified, and in the purified state, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money. And the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, what must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotion service performed with the present impure senses. Same senses, they can be engaged in Krishna's service even if the mind is not there yet. But slowly, 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 the senses get purified and we develop a desire to attain Krishna. This love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart, and their love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now the heart has to be purified of the material association, and that dormant natural love for Krishna has to be revived. That is the whole process. That's it. It has to be revived. It's not like artificial imposition on the mind. No, it's there in everybody's heart. Every soul is a servant of Krishna. It's just we have forgotten. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God, and then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga, under the rules and regulations with the direction of his spiritual master, will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. Of course, when we study Nectar of Devotion, we'll see how one can make progress from sadhana bhakti to bhav bhakti to prema bhakti. But this is the process. All these activities, one, two, or all of them. Chanting is the most important, obviously, but others, all these services, all these activities can take us further and further up. But provided we do them constantly, regularly, and not as a duty, but out of yes, I want to do it. I love to do it. And slowly, 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 this is how we make the progress. There is no other process. There is no other process. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Wonderful, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mata. And one thing is, when we start developing taste, we don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to do anything else.
Yep,
Yes.
that is
There is
true.
no other taste left.
Yep.
Like my office co-workers, they ask me, what do you do after you go home?
One
I said, I have so many things to do.
minute.
I know it's beautiful, Prabhuji.
There's no other desire, actually. Anyway, hopefully we can continue, we can make further progress on this path. Chalo, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.